What's going on, Jerome's? It is indeed mock draft season, and I know we do like mock draft 75.9999999 because we have fun. Sorry for having fun, but also we like going through various other experts' mock drafts, and this one's interesting. So when we say the name Mike Band, that may not resonate, but it should. Super interesting because he works NFL.com, Next Gen Stats and Research, and also he was formerly a member of the Vikings front office. Like, he was in the analytics department. He was actually in the Vikings Spielman draft war rooms, in on all those conversations, having the input and stuff. So super interesting. So obviously he's a guy that is in the numbers after things with the draft. Good time. So Mike Band released his mock draft for 2025 1.0, and there's some stuff and stuff going on. All right, so let's dive on in. As try not to spoil it. All right, so here we go. 1, Cam Ward. 2, the Browns take Abdul Carter, and potentially they could ransom this to the Giants. Just make sure that, hey, Giants, you should trade up and give us some draft capital. Otherwise, we're going to trade to someone else if someone is really in on Shedeur Sanders. But Abdul Carter, I mean, Carter and Myles Garrett, that's a hell of a duo there. And Carter with the edge as well as off-ball capabilities really gives the Browns a playmaker at that second level. Shedeur Sanders and the Giants. So the Giants just picked up Jameis. I think they're out on Aaron Rodgers. Drafting a quarterback of the future makes sense. And Shedeur, I don't know, will it save Shane's job, Dable's job? Who knows? 4, Patriots, Will Campbell. It makes sense. Even though there's concerns about measurables stuff, but Will Campbell is, in my opinion, the best offensive lineman in this class, and you got to protect Drake May, especially since Garrett Bradbury's the center now. The Jets do a deal, so they trade up with the Jaguars up from 7, I believe. Is it 7? Yeah. And the Jets take Travis Hunter. Now, Travis Hunter with Sauce Gardner, that's pretty good. I mean, you let DJ Reed go to the Lions, but then you got Travis Hunter. Come on, man. Also, as a offensive weapon, so here's what I think is going to happen. I think Travis Hunter will be a full-time corner, and I think that he'll get a fistful of wide receiver snaps per game, because I feel like it's hard to moonlight as a cornerback, because there's so much communication on the back end of the defense. Hunter's a good cornerback. At the next level, is he going to be a guy that just takes away the other team's wide receiver one? Is he just going to travel like Deion Sanders? I don't know. But if he's a full-time corner, integrated in that defense, and then just has a couple of offensive plays, I think that makes a lot more sense than the other way around. But him and Justin Fields work together. Kind of liked it. Genty goes to the Raiders. Geno gets a great tailback, and I love it because it means that he doesn't go to the Bears. Mason Graham goes to the Jaguars as they look to rebuild that defensive line for Liam Cohen and company. Jelon Walker. Walker's a bit of a wild card. So I know that it's kind of a similar situation with Abdul Carter. It's a light version of that. Whereas the off-ball, is he an edge? Is he both? Yes. And the Panthers, Dan Morgan, of course, is a great linebacker from back in the day. That's just the U being the U. They're rebuilding that defense. They're retooling, getting after things. 9, the Saints taking Michael Williams. Again, another Georgia defender, another Georgia front 7 guy. And the Saints need to get after that pass rush. You're going to try and do some things here. Calvin Banks, thanks. So no Will Campbell, no Ashton Genty, but Banks at 10 makes a ton of sense. We're a 4-year starter at left tackle for Texas. Again, hook him. I think the Banks would be fantastic with Wright at the tackle spots, and then their interior, whatever, Bears. Membu goes to the 49ers, so Trent Williams can't play forever. And uber athletic and upside. I mean, I guess there's a chance if a team just completely bets on the athletic upside that Membu could be the first offensive lineman taken. I don't see it, though. Kenneth Grant. So this is a little bit higher than a lot of the other mock draft people have Kenneth Grant, but I know what Cowboys fans are going to say. This is Maisie Smith 2.0. Scout the player, not the helmet. Kenneth Grant has great upside. I think that he potentially could be a Dexter Lawrence type nose tackle. Malachi Starks goes to the Dolphins, helping take the sting out of losing Javon Holland. Tyler Warren goes to the Colts. I feel like that's too high on the nose because he's frequently comped with Dallas Clark and he wears 44. That's good, though. Shamar Stewart goes to the Falcons. Falcons just need help, and you're going to bet on the physical upside. The production hasn't been there at College Station, but Stewart, the tools are there. The upside is certainly there. You look at 60 on the Cardinals, James Pierce Jr., and Pierce is a little bit of a Polarizing prospect as well. I mean, some teams may have them off their boards. Some teams have them high. But Cardinals, getting after things along that defensive line. Darius Robinson last year, who I loved, so they can go get it. Will Johnson to the Bengals. The Bengals need to do something on that defense. They have to hit on draft picks. They have to be cheap on that side of the ball with the contracts with Higgins as well as Chase and Burrow. So go from there. 18, the Seahawks, Tet. How does Tet fall this far? Sam Darnold gets a big outside the numbers guy. Where it feels like Darnold needs wide receivers who can get separation, and Tet and Cooper Kupp, but Tet, Darnold needs a tall receiver. There you go. 19, the Buccaneers taking Hottie Campbell. I love this pick. Frankly, even though it's not a need, I just love the way that Jahad Campbell plays. Vikings got Cashman and Pace, but Hottie Campbell's going to be great. Both as just a middle of the field general, he's going to be able to rush as well. He's going to be fantastic. Broncos at 20 taking Matthew Golden, who's shooting up draft boards. Beyond the 4.29 at the combine. I think that there's a lot of upside there, and Bo Nix gets a great wide receiver. Derek Hammond goes to the Steelers, where it's kind of interesting because a lot of Derek Harmon's comps are Cameron Hayward. Right, and a guy who can stick at that 5-tech spot, press the pocket, stop the run, led the nation in pressure rate last season for Oregon. It's a good pick. 22, Colton Loveland, whatever. Harbaugh gets his guy. He would have been a sleeper for me and the Vikings at 24. Jahdae Barron goes to the Packers. They need help in that secondary. Stokes didn't work out. They're probably going to get rid of Jair Alexander. Makes sense. And then the Vikings at 24, there's a trade. So the Chiefs come on up for Josh Simmons out of the Ohio State University. Now the Chiefs will be motivated to be moving up in this spot, so they're going to pay a premium. The updated trade chart over the Draft Tech, Vikings 24 is worth 740, Chiefs at 31 is worth 600. So also looking at their, it would be nice to get their second round pick, but more likely getting their third and fourth could make sense. So the Vikings pick up 95. As well as 133, which would be pretty damn good. All right, and the Chiefs take Connerly. I definitely need to try and do something at the tackle spot for Kansas City. Egbuka goes to the Texans. I definitely need some receiver help as Stephon Diggs is bye-bye. Tank Dell, man, terrible injury. Azrae Thomas goes to the Rams. Not a lot of mocks have Azrae in the first round, so it's certainly interesting, especially with who the Vikings take. Donovan goes to the Ravens. Again, the stupid-ass Ravens just sit back and get an amazing front seven player over and over and over again. That's what happens. Booker goes in the first round. First true guard drafted. Lions help replacing Kevin Zeitler with... Kind of sucks because he's nasty. I love Tyler Booker, man. Mike Green goes to the commie. So undersized edge rusher, but guy who can bring juice. You like the juice, huh? I love it. 30, you got the Bills, Walter Nolan. Walter Nolan, Ed Oliver. I like that. I like that a lot. Vikings at 31, taking Shavon Revel Jr., where Flores... You can never have enough good corners, and that's exactly it. And the Vikings doubling down on positions of need in the trenches, running back as well as even at cornerback. But Revel, I like his game a lot, right? So projected trade with the Chiefs. At the bottom, probabilities of first position drafted: cornerback 28%, O-line 24%, safety 17%. That's Emin Wari, as well as D-line 16%. So the Vikings would have had their choice. Revel is there. Morrison is there. Gray Zabel is there as well. So there's a lot. But here's what Mike wrote. These chicks don't even know the name of Mike Band. D12. With only 4 picks on Minnesota's draft docket, GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah and the Vikings are among the teams most likely to trade down in the first round. Revel, who is recovering from a September ACL tear, is a 6'2" corner who offers the length and recovery speed Minnesota typically seeks on the boundary. Should his medicals check out, Revel has a high ROI potential, return on investment, as an anchor in Brian Flores' secondary for a Vikings team in need of secondary reinforcements. The added picks via trade and Revel's upside make this a calculated gamble for the quant. This is my quant. He won a math contest in China. Focus Adofo-Mensah. And again, trade comp. Probably looking at getting Kansas City's 31 as well as a third and fourth rounder, 95, 133. Because points-wise, the Vikings benefit about 20, but the Chiefs would have to pay a premium as they would be the team asking to make that move. And Revel looks good. He already looks good in purple and gold. Let's just give him 28. Who cares? Oh, happy belated birthday, Adrian Peterson. But Revel was a baller at East Carolina, and it's just really unfortunate the ACL tear early on in 2024. But in the grand scheme of things, it could potentially help him as he looks to recover, as opposed to if it happened late in the season. But Revel, like his scouting report, 33rd team. East Carolina cornerback, positives. Prototypical stature and length to play press coverage and disrupt the catch point of receivers. Has elite recovery and straight line speed. Obviously hasn't been able to test, except he would have been 4.3s somewhere in there. Illustrates ideal closing burst and second gear. A whopping tackler who provides jarring hits and consistent finishes. Frankly, he kind of reminds you of Sauce Gardner when he was coming out of Cincinnati, right? And the Vikings getting him in the back end of the first round, I think that's a bargain, because if he had been he had been fully healthy, had a great junior season for the Pirates, I think that you would have had conversations about Revel being a top 10 pick and probably cornerback 2 off the board after Travis Hunter. And the Vikings secondary, even though they doubled and tripled down, quadrupled down in the secondary. So Murph is back on a premium deal. Isaiah Rodgers, I think, has a ton of upside. Jeff Okudah is a low-risk, medium reward spot. Tavir Thomas can play some slot. Revel, I mean, even with Nudie and Mekhi Blackman having potential too, I mean, Revel would be that dude. And I think that he would pretty quickly become the alpha in that room with Murph on the outside, round the outside, and I just love this pick. So I think that it's a great spot for the Vikings at 31 if they're able to get a trade down with the Chiefs, and I think it's great value. Would have loved Gray Zabel, but now the Vikings with this trade come away with 2/3, a fourth, and a fifth, and a sixth. I think you're good to go there. But that's it. Your thoughts are thoughts. Take a look at NFL.com, former Vikings analyst. Yeah. Mike Band's Mock Draft 1.0. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.